news. I have a very special guest with me today. His name is Brad Wellens. He is the regional manager with the Louisiana campaign for tobacco-free living, and he is here to discuss the Bayou Region Vaping Town Hall that will be held this Thursday, November 20th, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Terrebonne General Health System Medical Atrium Auditorium, located in downtown Houma at 8120 Main Street. And he's going to be telling us all about it this morning. Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Brady. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, Brad, first of all, tell us about the mission of the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living.
Yeah, actually, Brady, we call ourselves TFL, so that might make you a little bit easier rather than having to say all that out.
I appreciate that.
So TFL is a program of the Louisiana Cancer Research Center and the Louisiana Public Health Institute. And what it is we are the tobacco control and prevention organization for the whole state of Louisiana. And we focus on reducing the impact of tobacco use in all of its forms, eliminating secondhand smoke, promoting cessation, and identifying eliminated cancer and other tobacco-related disparities, particularly to prevent initiation, and particularly with things like vaping and the new nicotine pouches.
Well, that's exactly my question, because vaping seems to be a major trend, especially among teens and young adults. So that's exactly why you're having this town hall on Thursday. Tell us about the town hall.
Well, the town hall, and I'll go back to it for a second, Brady.
Sure.
That you are absolutely right. That vaping in Louisiana, 1 in 3 high schoolers vape.
Thursday. Tell us about the town hall.
Most kids. Well, the town hall, and I'll go back to it for a second, Brady. And so that's what we're battling. And by the time they get up in the high school, some of these kids have been vaping for years. And even with young adults, by the time they get to college, I mean, they've all been exposed to it. And so that's why we're having the town hall. And the town hall is going to be at Terrebonne General. And we have a panel of experts, including two physicians from Terrebonne General, one the pulmonologist and the other a pediatrician. We have Jennifer Trigg from the Bayou Council, which is the prevention effort within our school. And then we have Lieutenant Melissa Quintal from the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office. And then Shelby Griffin, who works at the Terrebonne General Sudden Impact Program that directs their vaping. So with that panel of experts, we also want to hear from the community. We want to hear what is happening in Terrebonne, in Lafourche, and in actually the Bayou region in general, all the way down to Morgan City, to St. Mary's, all the way up back to the river. I mean, this is important, and we want to hear from all y'all. And it's free. Like you said, it's right there at the Atrium Auditorium at the hospital. It's in Houma. If you come, we'll give you a free lunch, and have a really good discussion in a town hall with everyone who's impacted by this, and then with parents and everyone. I mean, it's not just for professionals, but it is for everybody.
Why are vapes so popular among teens especially? Is it because it's a fad, or are they more accessible than normal nicotine products?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I mean, like you said, I don't know if most people know this, but you have to be 21 over to buy tobacco products, just like alcohol. And one of the things is that the teens are, with the whole Juul and how vaping arose, 90% of them do it in flavors. And actually, of the flavors, most of them is mint. Everybody likes the mint. And then they also have other flavors like bubblegum and chocolate cake. I mean, it is amazing. Mango, fruit, all the different flavors that they have. And these flavors are not just in the vape, but they're also in the nicotine pouches. But the key thing, Brady, is that unlike when, you and me used to smoke cigarettes and we go, sneak one, and they're pretty foul, they didn't have as much nicotine as in these vapes. In some of the higher concentrations, the vapes have 20 times as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
So it's obviously more addicting and more dangerous.
Right, exactly. It's more addictive and more dangerous, particularly in children that have not, adolescents that are still developing. I mean, And for our brain science, most our brains do not fully develop until we reach the age of 25, which is why this is so dangerous for teens, so dangerous for young adults, and it causes mental changes in the brain physiology, which causes mental health issues. And we've seen that in our schools. We've seen that with our young people, and it's horrible. Not just the environment the kids have to put up with these days, but also the ways that they try to adapt that their peers tell them to do. But it's a short-term adaptation. I mean, and it actually makes it worse in the long run because it is such an addictive drug. That's the reason the police are involved. That's the reason that we have counselors involved, because it is an addiction as well.
Yes, I spoke to local law enforcement, and they are having a major issue with vaping. They're finding, confiscating a lot of vapes from young teenagers. I'm not talking about 18, 17, 19. I'm talking about young, 14 years old.
Right.
Why are they so accessible to these young teenagers?
That's a good question, Brady. And we don't really. I think because vaping is what we see at the local level, and what we see from what people tell us is that vaping isn't necessarily seen as bad as smoking. Some people don't even think vaping is smoking. Some people don't even think that vaping has tobacco in it, which is completely wrong. Some people don't even think it's addictive. And it is. And so that's why, particularly when you get these flavors that taste good, some of these things have what they call synthetic nicotine, which is not even, tobacco, but only very tangentially is it tobacco. And I think it's seen as cool. I mean, it was cool to Juul. And that was the marketing advertisement. That's what got them in trouble. That's why they lost a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. And so this is why we're trying to get out of it, but we're also still facing not only vaping, but the rise of nicotine patches in exactly the same way, that are virtually unregulated by the federal thing, and even unregulated by the states, which is why we have to do something at the local level.
And not to mention, you don't know what other illegal substances and very dangerous substances are being put in vapes.
That's exactly right. And that's the thing. We haven't done those long-term studies to see the other things that are in the vape, like glycol and other chemicals. We do know that these are benzene, these are cancer-causing chemicals, but we don't have the long-term studies like we did with cigarettes. The other thing, Brady, is that the kids, since these things are already illegal, they're adding other substances. We talked to sheriff's offices in other parishes where they're adding things like THC, they're adding things like cannabinoids, they're adding like CBD, they can get that. They're adding things like vodka and alcohol, and they're adding things like fentanyl, which is incredibly addictive, to the vape to make them have more punch. And that stuff is just frightening. It is absolutely frightening, some of the things that are going on, some of the things that the companies are putting in these things. And that's why we're going to hear from the doctors. We want to hear what are the medical effects of this. I mean, we don't exactly know. What we're seeing in the short term, we're seeing something called E-Valley, which is basically, for those of us that are not physicians, and even in public health, I'm not a physician, but I know a lot of them, they call popcorn lung. And what it does is it makes an inflammation of the lung tissue so that it actually takes up the airspace inside of your lung, and you can't breathe. It's awful. It's truly terrible.
Yep.
These are long-term permanent effects for our kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old.
Yes, I've heard of the popcorn lung condition, which is extremely dangerous and sad. So once again, we are speaking to Brad Wellens. He is the regional manager with the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living, or as they call it, the TFL. Again, this Thursday, November 20th, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m., it's the Bayou region.
Thank you,
yes, sir. But go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you. One last thing, Brady. Sure. I wanted to say it's also virtual, so you can go to www.tobaccofree.org, and that's where you can log on. Your parents you can be in Shreveport and then watch the town hall, and even participate. So it's a hybrid event, but we would like the community to come out in person if they can.
Great. Again, this Thursday, 11 to 1 at Terrebonne General Health System Medical Atrium Auditorium, 8120 Main Street in Houma. If you're watching this interview, you can register today by just scanning that QR code if you're listening on the radio on KQKI, you can go to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and watch this interview, and you'll see that QR code on your screen. Scan to register. Free lunch. Everything is free, and you can learn all about what is going on, especially with our teens. Brad, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Brady. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's so good to talk to you and talk to the community about this. It's very, very serious issue.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.